Another loss for the Mets, another series loss for the Mets, and they lost the series to the Boston Red Sox. So now it looks like the Mets and the front office are looking to sell. Definitely there's three guys that possibly could be traded by the end of the deadline, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. So overall, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. This is where you get your latest Mets content. Anything you need to know about the Mets. And yeah, man, I always keep you guys updated. Love you guys so much. Yeah, let's get into this video. Definitely David Robertson, Max Scherzer, and Justin Verlander are three guys that I will be talking about. So let's get into the first guy. It's going to be Max Scherzer. And overall, he's 8-4 on the season with a 4.20 ERA. Listen, Max Scherzer, this big contract that the Steve Cohen gave him, the 3 years, $43 million a year. This guy's 39 years old. It's not like he's young. He's an old guy. So it looks like Max Scherzer, he's having a good start. He's having a really good start, and then he's having a really bad start. Then he's having another good start, and then he's having a bad start. So that's the big problem with Max Scherzer. He just hasn't been really consistent, and that's the big problem. So if Max Scherzer, is going to be traded, he's going to have to, waive his no-trade clause. And possibly Max Scherzer, according to Andy Martino of SNY, said that Max Scherzer, could possibly, waive his no-trade clause. So this is big news for Max Scherzer. I don't know whether the Mets, trade Max Scherzer, what they want to do with Max Scherzer. But at the end of the day, Max Scherzer, is under contract for a whole nother year. So this is his second year right now with the Mets. He signed a 3-year deal. So next year would be his last year with the Mets. Overall, Max Scherzer 8-4 with a 4.20 ERA. He hasn't been the worst pitcher in the world, but he hasn't been the Max Scherzer of old. He hasn't been the Max Scherzer, the shutout Max Scherzer, the guy that, you want in big spots. He allowed 5 runs against the Padres. He allows 5 runs against the Boston Red Sox. Just in general, he hasn't been really good in big game situations. But he's had some situations where he's come up big. He had 7 shutout innings against the Dodgers. And listen, he pitched really good. So it's been an up and down season. 8-4 is not the worst in the world, but it's not what you signed him for. 8-4 is not what you signed him for. So at the end of the day, you want Max Scherzer to be the great Max Scherzer. He's going to be a Hall of Famer at the end of the day. He won already 3 Cy Youngs in his career. So he's going to be a Hall of Famer for sure, no doubt. So I think the Mets, if they trade Max Scherzer, I hope they get some type of prospects back, maybe a pitcher, maybe an outfielder, because that's really a big need for the New York Mets right now. They need pitching, they need outfielders, they need, bullpen arms for sure. And yeah, they just need prospects. So if Max Scherzer gets traded, I hope that the Mets, somehow get some, at least maybe a C-level prospect or B-level prospect from an organization. Now, I don't know what possibly, Max Scherzer, what the Mets are really going to get for him. But at the end of the day, if the Mets are losing and they're gonna make a sale, Max Scherzer is going to be, a free agent after the next year. Like I said, he could opt out after this year, but I don't see him doing that because then he won't, get all that money that he wants. So he's literally getting $43 million a year. So let's get into another guy, and it's gonna be Justin Verlander on the season, 4-5 with a 3.89 ERA around there. Listen, Justin Verlander, this is his first year with the New York Mets, and it just hasn't gone smoothly. It hasn't gone the way you want to, you want Justin Verlander to pitch. This guy won an AL Cy Young last year and, in 2022. And the Mets, Justin Verlander, it just hasn't been smooth sailing. Justin Verlander, he's been hanging a lot of his pitches. He's, allowing a lot of home runs. And he's just not doing what Steve Cohen signed him, what the Mets signed him for. So, he's 4-5 with a 3-point-something ERA. And the ERA is not the worst in the world, but just in general, Justin Verlander has not been shut out baseball. He hasn't pitched shutout baseball, really, unless it was against the Reds or some other team. Not really. But in big game situations, Justin Verlander has not really come through. So he struggled against the Dodgers, which was a big game for the Mets, and they needed to win. And, he struggles. He struggles. And you want Justin Verlander to be great. This is his first year of a 3-year contract with the New York Mets, and he's already 40 years old. So at the end of the day, he's not getting any better. And you want Justin Verlander to be better. You want Justin Verlander to be a great pitcher. I just think that Justin Verlander, he doesn't look like the Justin Verlander of old, but he looks like a good pitcher, but he's not the Justin Verlander, the shutout baseball, the AL Cy Young that was last year. That's not what I see in him. He had a really bad time in the playoffs also. So he hasn't been really good in definitely with the postseason last year also. So Justin Verlander, this year just has not been that good for the New York Mets. Now, would he be traded? Will the Mets actually trade Justin Verlander? They have 2 more years with Justin Verlander. I don't know how that would look. I think Justin Verlander is going to be kept by the Mets. I don't think that, the Mets are going to trade Justin Verlander, even though he's 40 years old, which is he is old. He's an old guy. He's old. He still pitches pretty good, but he's not pitching, shutout baseball against the big teams. And that's what you got Justin Verlander for. You got him not to be a number 3, not to be a number 4, not to be a number 2. You got him to be an ace. You got these guys to be an ace, and Justin Verlander was supposed to be your ace. Even though you have Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander coming off an AL Cy Young in 2022 was supposed to be your ace. So overall, guys, the Mets, I don't think they're gonna trade Justin Verlander, but if they do, they probably will get maybe a B+ prospect back. And, maybe an outfielder, maybe a pitcher, maybe a type of hitter. I don't know exactly what they would get, but I know definitely that Justin Verlander probably won't really be traded, especially after this season. He won't be traded. So they still got 2 more years with him. They're probably going to stick out 1 more year with him. Then they'll think of trading Justin Verlander. But let's get into another guy, and that's David Robertson, who's been one of the best reliever for the New York Mets. And coming off, a season with the Phillies, David Robertson, signed with the New York Mets a 1-year deal. This is a 1-year deal. He's going to be a free agent next year. So possibly David Robertson could be traded after this season. And David Robertson is having a really, really good season. He's 4-2 with a 2.08 ERA, guys. So David Robertson has been really, really good. And he had a hard, position to be in, but he's been really, really, really good. He's been, one of the best relievers in the New York Mets. He's been basically shut out. He's only had a couple of blown saves. So David Robertson has been really, really good, and he would look really, really good in another team, I'm sure, that wants to win. And I'm sure David Robertson wants to win as well. And David Robertson, he's really, really, his curveball's still good, his cutter's still good, his fastball's still good. So, David Robertson, I like David Robertson. I like David Robertson for next year. But even though, because, Edwin Diaz, coming back, next year as well. But I just don't know. I don't know if the Mets make a big trade here. I think that the Mets, if they're looking to sell, if they're looking to sell, you got to trade David Robertson just because he's going to be a free agent next year. So, he's basically a rental for this year. So definitely he's a little older as well, but he's been pitching really, really good baseball. He's definitely the guy that you want, in a closing scenario. He's a guy that you want to close out the game. So I think that the Mets possibly get some pretty good prospects for David Robertson if they trade him. So at the end of the day, that's really those 3 guys that the Mets could possibly trade in the season. What do you guys think? Who do you guys think that the Mets should trade? Do you guys think that they should trade Max Scherzer? Do you guys think that they should trade Justin Verlander? Or do you guys think that you should trade David Robertson? Or do you guys think that you should trade at least 2 of these guys? Let me know in the comments. Let me know. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for interacting with me. Thanks for, watching this video. I appreciate you guys so much. I love you guys. And yeah, let's go Mets. Definitely going to be more consistent with the videos. Got a lot more videos coming out for you. Definitely, and the second half of the season. Love you guys so much. Appreciate you guys. Let's go Mets, baby.